this recording I want to have a look at how we can make a 3D model of a meerkat out of metal or acrylic. Okay, it will use a slotted element for the tail so that the tail slots into the back of the object in order to actually help it stand up. Okay, so first of all I've got to have an image of a meerkat to actually use. So what I've imported into my Onshape an image of a meerkat. So to do that, it's really easy. All you do is you find an image that you've downloaded from the internet. I've tried to find one that's a side view of a meerkat to use for this. So I've then gone to import. I've imported the image, and that will then appear as a new tab here saying meerkat. Okay, that was the name of it. I can then import that in. So I'm going to start a new drawing just to sort of show you how this actually works. So we'll create a new part studio. Okay, I'm going to work on the front work plane, so front there, and I'm going to start a new sketch. Okay, new sketch for this. Okay, I'm then going to go to import and insert image. Okay, so the one that I've imported is my meerkat one there. I'm going to try and draw this from the bottom rectangle here, like so. Okay. Like that. Okay. But I might move him around a little bit. Actually, yes, I'm going to actually we'll undo that. Let's try drawing him a little bit further over. Let's try drawing him a bit more freehand. So insert image, because I want to try and get his tail in the place where I want it. So let's just try and draw him like that. Now, because I haven't selected the center origin, it gives me much more scope to actually move him around once he's actually in place, because I can then grab the image and I can then move him around. So what I want to try and do is get him so the back is lined up with the center here, and his leg is running along the underside here, and his tail is running along there. Okay, that'll give me a nice size for him. I can change the size later on, but it's the positioning that's really important for this. Okay, once that's there, I'll green tick, so that's in place, and then I'm going to start a new sketch on, again, the front work plane. So sketch there. Okay, so I'm still on the front work plane, but this is a separate sketch. I'm now going to take my line drawing tool and just draw a line from the bottom here going up. So I've got a nice straight edge first of all for the back of my meerkat. Okay, press escape from that. I'm then going to use my spline tool to then carry on drawing around the edge of my shape here. Now you might want to zoom in as well so you can see it more clearly as you're going around. So I'm just going to plot around to get a reasonable outline around my shape here. Okay. I'm not looking for features like mouths, it's just a general sort of feature. Okay. Do his arms coming out. I'm only going to do one because it's just the front end that I want for this. And remember, the more splines you add, the more detail you can add, you can put to this. Then we'll try and do his front feet coming down until we get to that line there, and then I'm going to press escape. Okay. Now, as in always, you can actually go back into it and you can adjust some of these splines if you want to move it over. If you want to adjust some of them, you can do. You feel this one should be tucked in a little bit here, maybe, or the mouth isn't quite right. You can adjust all these till you get them to the way you want them. Okay. The white bits here are just the image redrawing, so don't worry about that. That's just a flickery sort of thing. I'm going to finish this off by doing a straight line from that point to back to there. So I should have a complete shape drawn. Okay. Now, just to check that, I'm going to switch off the image behind. So there's my shape there. I can switch it back on again, and I'm happy with it. That's fine. Okay. Now, the next bit. Let's keep our meerkat on there. There's a little bit here where it's overlapped. I'm not quite happy about that, so I'm going to go back into my sketch here. Just double click, and I'm going to draw. I'm going to take this point here. Okay, so let's just right click and edit that one there. I'm just going to take this point here and just bring that handle in, not too much, but just so it's actually inside the line there. Okay, that's better. Now, next bit, I want to add a little bit at the bottom here, which is going to be the slot for this. Okay, so I'm going to take my, on my sketch again, open that up, I'm going to take my square drawing tool, and from this corner here, just drag up and do a box. Now the material you're going to be using is about 1 mil thick, so I'm going to do a 1 mil wide slot, so that's 1 millimeter there. Remember, I can change it, and about 10 millimeters high. So let's dimension that. So this one's going to be 1 mil, okay, and this one is going to be 10 mil, okay. There you go, there's a nice slot, and I'll just use my scissors just to cut out the bits that I don't need for this shape. So I should end up with, see if that's worked there. So that line. Yeah, that's it. Now I've got my new perimeter going around there. That's fine. That's good. Right, and green tick that. So there's my new shape drawn there with a slot at the bottom. Okay, now have a look and see how we can actually mirror our meerkat. So before that though, we need a work plane for it to mirror against. So to do that, I'm going to swing to my top view of my object here, and I'm going to pick a new sketch that's going to be on the top view, okay, top plane. Okay, then I'm going to take my rectangle tool, but I'm also going to make it into a construction line before I start. So I'm going to draw from this point and draw a construction line out. I'm going to do it about 40 millimeters by 40 millimeters, as long as it's square, that's the point. Okay. Then I'm going to take my line drawing tool, and still with the construction line selected, I'm going to come in and make sure I pick from the very center, the origin there. Okay, make sure you have got that. And then what you're trying to do is to get it to the other corner here, so you have a diagonal line that's exactly at 45 degrees, okay, from the center, and green tick. Okay, so this is a construction line which helps us plot where our new plane is going to be. Okay. Then I'm going to take my new work plane tool, this one here. I'm going to create a line angle work plane. Okay, so to do this you have to select two entities. So I'm going to first of all select the construction line that I drew there. Okay, and then I have to select a second one for it to be measured from. So we can just pick another work plane, such as the front one that we were dealing with earlier, and that's now created a new work plane for us that's gone through the center, but it's at 45 degrees to the other work planes. Okay, if I look from above, you'll see that there's my new work plane coming through there. Okay, now we need that because we're going to use that as a mirror line. So the next thing, I'm going to go to my mirror tool here. Yeah, and you have to tell it what entities you want to mirror. So in this case it's the meerkat. So, and we're also going to have to tell it that it's a feature mirror we're doing rather than a part mirror. Okay, so the feature we're going to mirror is the meerkat. So make sure we highlight that. So there, that's what we're going to mirror. And the mirror plane is the new work plane that I've just created there. Okay, and that should give us a new part down next to it, but at 45 degrees. Well, 90 degrees to it, but 45 from the front plane. So green tick that. If we look from above, so we've got a new image here, and if we look to the side, we can see that that's positioned there for us. Okay, which works really well. Okay, so the next thing is to how to fill this. Okay, so I'm going to use my fill tool here, zoom in, make sure we're looking at the left hand meerkat first. So select the outer line, the center line. Okay, scroll up. Let's do. Now I've got to be careful. Click on the right parts here. So I want that line and that line there. Okay, and the bottom line there. And that should turn blue because I've now selected all the parts for it. Green tick that. Okay, second one, we're going to again use our fill tool to create our new part. We select the outer lines, all the lines going around. Make sure you zoom in and you get all the little lines as well. And it should turn blue as well, and it should be an add. So basically the two fills are added together. Okay, green tick that. Brilliant. Okay, so now this will form the basis for our metal part. Okay. Now the next bit is to create the tail for our meerkat. So I'm going to actually zoom in onto the new work plane that I've got here. I might just actually rotate this around so I can actually pick it up. There it is there. And I'll put put a new sketch on that. I'm going to look straight at that. So right click anywhere and go view normal to normal plane there. Okay. So the outline for this is going to be a straight line at the bottom. So this is the bottom of the tail. So I'm going to do that about from say here, come in there, there. Okay. Escape. Then take my spline tool, start from this point and just create the bulge of his stomach coming around like so, coming in to about there, there. Okay. Then we'll come down. This will be the tail coming off, tapering to the end, as long as it's a complete shape that you've got there. Okay, and then escape at the end, and we should get a complete shape there. Now, because this is going to slot, we need to cut a groove in this part here. So let's zoom in. Now we said it was 1 mil wide before, so from this point, I'm going to draw a box going down to roughly about that point there. Okay. In fact, what we could do actually, let me just try that one again because I've got a better idea. Let's take it from there, make sure we're above it, and then drag it down till we meet this part here. Okay. So it needs to be roughly about the same height as that, so it meets to there, and this needs to be 1 mil wide. Okay, about 1 mil. So make sure you. Now remember, the other two are actually on a slant, so yeah, that's fine there. Okay, and we'll set this to be 1 mil. The height of it doesn't really matter for the moment, so we'll leave it like that. Okay, and then what we'll do, we'll take the our scissors tool. In a second, once that's loaded there, that's it. Take our scissors tool and cut out this section here, and then these lines at the top here. So we're making a new perimeter with the slot included in that. Okay, and then green tick. So we should have a slot piece there. So now I'm going to then use my fill tool again. So fill, and this time I'm going to be just filling this shape here. So there, come across that line, this curve, and the bottom part here. Now this doesn't need to be an out. This is a new part, so we'll leave it like that. Okay, there. Okay. So then now we should have 2 parts created there. Okay. Next, we're going to go to our sheet metal tool. So we click on our sheet metal tool here. We choose which surfaces we want to work with. So that we'll pick this one first. Okay, and that should all turn as one shape there, which is fine. Okay, that's good. And from that, we can also set the thickness and the bend radius of it. So it's going to be a thickness of 0.5 mil. Okay. I'm also going to just also place the edge here. So select the back part there, and that tells it how it's going to fold on there. Okay. And I'm also going to select from the surfaces, select the tail that we've created as well. Okay. Should have created my tail for me there. Okay. Could do that as a separate part, but I'm going to actually I might do that. I'll do it as a separate part, so we'll leave that there. That's right. And then green tick that one. So that's one part created. And then I'm going to do the same thing, but this time just pick the tail. Just pick the tail. And this time we're just going to thicken this. Okay, thicken that. We're going to do that. Can we do this? It doesn't tell us. You know, ideally, I'd like it to be either side, but it doesn't give us that option. We'll leave it like that. That's fine. Okay, there. Okay. So that should. No, prefer it to be the other way around. Okay. Let's take that one off. Go back into this, and we will include the tail this time. It seems to want to have that part there. That seems to be happy there. That's fine. Okay. Can we tick that? Now, so I should have my completed meerkat there. Let's press P and take our bits there and drag this over. There we have. There's my meerkat. It's got its tail sticking out there, and it's got a support at the front, and the feet coming through. It's slotted. If we click onto our sheet metal table here, we'll see we've got don't know why it comes up upside down, but there you go. We've got our parts here and our tail there. They can be ready to be cut out either on the laser cutter and then assembled accordingly. Okay, with the fold part in the middle